good morning, everyone. Namaskar. Indeed, it's such a pleasure because this is for all of us quite a monumental day. And as we all are gathered today to participate in India's first virtual 3D Aqua Expo, the Smart Aqua Expo India 2021. And we all know this is quite an innovative and unique initiative. So, on behalf of, first of all, at the very first outset, on behalf of Smart AgriPost and AquaPost, I, Gitanjali Soni, your host for this event, would like to welcome you all, extend a very, very warm, heartwarming welcome. And as we all know, this is a leading magazine in agriculture sector and fisheries magazine, AquaPost. And we provide and share information and knowledge and experience about the agriculture and its benefits and the experiences. So before we start, I would like now Mr. Pravash Pradhan, Chief Editor of Smart AgriPost and AquaPost, to kindly address the August Assembly. So first of all, give a huge round of applause to all of you and this event. So let's start with a happy energy and cheers to a lot of learning. So over to Mr. Pravash Pradhan.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, sir. So I extend a very warm welcome to everyone to this Smart Aqua Expo. This is India's first Aqua Expo. It's virtual Aqua Expo. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome our chief guest, Sri Pratap Chandra Sarangi, Honorable Union Minister, Fisheries, Government of India. In fact, since he's traveling, now he'll be joining in a short while, but we can start the meeting on time. And he has sent his message. We can play his recorded message also. And in fact, I know that his simple living and contribution to the socio-economic development of people is well appreciated. I welcome Dr. Rajiv Ranjan, Chief Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu. And he is also the former Secretary, Fisheries, Government of India. In fact, whenever I used to meet him, and he always think of and discuss about the fisheries sector and how to, in fact, bring policies or how to effectively implement the policies so that the stakeholders can be benefited out of the government policies and schemes. It is my privilege to welcome you, sir. In fact, several initiatives taken during your tenure as a Secretary of Fisheries will certainly accelerate the growth of this sector. I welcome Dr. J. Balaji, Joint Secretary, Fisheries, Government of India. In fact, he will be also joining in a short while since he is in a tour with the Honorable Minister in a meeting. So probably in another 15-20 minutes he will be joining. And also he will be giving the address and setting the tone for the entire conference. What is the government's agenda, short-term, medium-term and long-term plans. So that will be useful for the sector and for the industry. In fact, I will not take much time. I will just briefly introduce what is the objective behind this conference and expo. Basically, during the pandemic, there is not much interaction with the different stakeholders. So we thought, why not we'll have some innovative and unique initiative to engage all stakeholders in this sector. And also it is the need of the hour to harness the technology and in fact to provide an enabling platform, networking platform for all stakeholders. And in fact, you know that the government has made big announcements for the sectors even during the pandemic period and also in this budget. And hope this investment will enable the sector to grow much faster. And in fact, as we know that there are two schools of thought, whether the government will have more reforms or the government will have more policies to streamline the sector, or the government will just enable and facilitate. That is more important, in fact, at this moment. And but as we know, there are a lot of issues at hand and the sector is facing. So the issues like from broodstock availability to tackling disease, farmland allocations, establishing supply chain, financing solutions and processing technologies, cold chain infrastructure, developing export market, other such initiatives, the industry needs the support of the government and the policies for this. And I believe this aquaculture industry will continue to be the dominant contributor as well as the growth engine for the fishery sector and worldwide and India also. And we'll have the 7 days expo. Several companies, the government of India, the NFDB, they have participated, and also private sectors, the feed companies, medicine companies, they have also participated. That will definitely help the industry to reach out the farmers, and also the government to reach out more farmers, more entrepreneurs in the aquaculture and fisheries sectors. So we'll have 5 days technical sessions covering the whole gamut of aquaculture value chain, starting from shrimp farming, challenges and the way forward, then emerging trends in aquaculture production technology and its future, and the future trends of seafood market and alternative economic opportunities in aquaculture potential. And the most important, financing aquaculture revolution and investment opportunities, and the domestic market, a potential game changer. These are very interesting topics we'll be discussing in different sessions, and the technical experts and domain experts, they will be in fact speaking, and they will be giving presentations which will certainly benefit the industry, the farmers, the entrepreneurs. And I believe this platform Smart Aqua Expo will provide an alternative platform to physical conference and exhibitions, and enable the sector to grow and enable the players to have a networking opportunity. And I acknowledge our sponsors, and we appreciate Department of Fisheries, Government of India, then NFDB, Government of India, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, Scrating, Salim Microbes, then CMFRI for their support and encouragement. Without their support and encouragement, things could not have been done. I deeply appreciate the presence of all our guests and dignitaries and speakers and exhibitors and visitors to this virtual Aqua Expo. With these words, I conclude my speech, and I welcome Dr. Rajiv Ranjan to give his inaugural address and special address, so that will enlighten the audience and also formally inaugurate this expo, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pravash Pradhan. It's a good opportunity for me to be present in this Smart Aqua Expo inaugural session. I had agreed to be part of it in my previous role as Secretary Fisheries in Government of India. So when I changed the role and I have joined as Chief Secretary in the Government of Tamil Nadu, I was not sure whether I'll be able to participate. In fact, as luck would have it, today is a very busy day in terms of we are just now having a parallel session with the for preparing for the 6th meeting of the Governing Council of Niti Aayog, which is chaired by the Prime Minister and participated by all Chief Ministers. So the preparatory meeting is on, so I've taken some time to come out of it because Mr. Pradhan insisted that I should keep the commitment, and it is also in the fitness of things that the session in the Niti Aayog talks about the similar kind of activity. Whatever policies that you make at the center level, ultimately at the ground level, it is the states which implement it primarily, and that is what is true for fishery sector also. So the action lies at the ground level, and now in Tamil Nadu, as we all know, fisheries is an important sector, and at the Government of India level also the recognition has been there, and fisheries have been accorded its importance in terms of having a new ministry and a new department created, and we have a very major intervention in the form of the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, which all of you would be knowing is a 20,050 crore investment scheme in the next 5 years. And we have started off very fast on that. We have this scheme was announced in May, and we have hit the ground running in the sense that we have right now 7,500 crores worth of proposals in the pipeline. We have sanctioned close to 3,000 odd crores of proposals, and the rest of them are under examination and approval stage. Why I'm saying that is that ultimately it's also the capacity to make changes and implement the policies at the ground level, which become very important. And this is a shared responsibility of all stakeholders. This is something which we need to understand, and that is why the Smart Aqua Expo today that we are having, which puts in place large number of stakeholders together, albeit in a in virtual platform, because during the pandemic times, the world has changed drastically and very significantly. Now, physical interaction is limited to some extent, and the next best possibility is to virtually interact, and this is what we are doing. And it increases efficiency in some ways, but at the same time, there are certain limitations. So, keeping that in mind, we have done the best in terms of having the Smart Aqua Expo, where a lot of uh, details are being showcased in the sessions, in the next 4 day session, and a lot of new trends which are there will be also shared with large number of stakeholders. So it's very good that such a thing is happening. And coming back to the importance of fishery sector, let me say that this is one sector which has been doing quite well in the high its all parameters, which is very creditable. And now that government has put in huge investments, so after that it is uh, it will grow even further is what we hope. And for doing that we need to have all the stakeholders work together and take the advantage of the opportunities which are unfolding before us because of the huge investments that are coming in. The Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana looks at increasing production in a big way. We are now close to 142 lakh tons of production of fish in the country. We are trying to take it to 220 lakh tons in the next 5 years. For that, we have very detailed action plan state-wise. We have looked at it. We have addressed the issues, which is of quality seed and quality feed and variety of things in the value chain. We are also looking at from production, looking at how post-harvest losses are reduced in a big way. Right now, the losses could be as high as 25% and above. In some cases, even more. In some cases, less where there is efficiency. So we need to ensure that these losses are brought down, and for which investments in uh, infrastructure like cold chain, in the refrigerated vehicles, in variety of things need to be done. We are also looking at creating a big market, especially in urban areas, hygienic market where people can buy fish, because today the definition of a fish market, as the English word says, like a fish market, is very pejorative terms. It is not considered an ideal place to visit. That we need to change, and we need to keep it. So for that, investments are being planned. So the PMSY, which is a bouquet of large number of schemes, close to 100 odd schemes, addresses all these critical gaps. And we are now asking states to prepare specific plans, which they have done in many ways, and now many of them are under implementation. Initially, in the first phase, we looked at the beneficiary-oriented, schemes, and in the second phase of approvals, we have looked at infrastructure kind of based schemes. So with all that, I'm quite confident that in the days to come, we'll be able to give a very big push to the fishery sector. We are looking at export sector in a big way. We are right now exporting close to 46,700 crores worth of exports from fishery sector, and we have a target to double it, more than double it to 1 lakh crores in the next couple of years. Again, this is a huge challenge in the present pandemic times, and this requires again huge investments and quality and the tracking of the value chain, building confidence in the markets abroad, specify large number of species diversification. Today we are dependent to a large extent on one particular species. The we need to see that we diversify risk, and all that is being discussed in the sessions that we are going to have. So let me again say that it's been very good that such initiative has been taken, and we also need to ensure use of technology in a big way. In fishery sector, we have seen that use of technology can increase the production and productivity manifold, and there are people who have been taking large amount, huge production out of limited space and water available. So we have technologies like the RAS, biofloc, and aquaponics, and variety of other ways. So we need to popularize it, and for that, investments are to be made, and credits tie-up is also an important thing that we need to look at. So all that is being discussed in the sessions. As I said, that we are covering the whole value chain, and per capita consumption of fish also needs to be improved in certain areas, because this is a good way to handle malnutrition, and also ensure that we get the necessary ingredients for a healthy food chain. We also look at sustainable and efficient water usage. All these things are being covered in a big way, and the contribution to Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada is part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat package. So, with all that, we hope that the value chain enhancement and contribution of fisheries to the national GDP also improves. With right now, we are contributing almost 1.25% of the GVA, and we wanted to increase it further. So all this is detailed plans have been done. We have discussed with states, and states are on board. They have made again detailed plans, and we are now in the phase of implementing those plans. And in that kind of implementation, a large number of stakeholders who get involved, whether they are technology companies, whether they are startups. We are in fact looking at a little departure from the old subsidy-based kind of things. We are now looking at unleashing the entrepreneurship spirit and attracting new age entrepreneurs, a lot of young people, people who are not traditionally associated with the sector, to come in and take this forward. So this has been happening now, and very enthused and very encouraged to see that a lot of work has been happening, and that's why I'm very sure that such kind of expos and seminars will go a long way to take this objective of improving the fishery sector, development of fishery sector further. So let me again, there'll be a detailed presentation by Dr. Balaji on PMSY and the government priorities, so I will not preempt it. And I would like to again thank the organizer, Mr. Pradhan, for taking the initiative, and the fisheries department officials who are supporting it, the NFDs, the NFDB, and all the others who are involved, the other the sessions which are there, especially Dr. Jena and Mr. Ramraj. I could see Dr. Jha, many of them who are going to contribute to the successful sessions. My best wishes, and I must say that in Tamil Nadu we will be taking up fisheries as a focus area and ensuring that that part of the plan which Tamil Nadu is going to contribute to. With these words, let me thank you for the opportunity and wish the seminar and the Smart Aqua Expo all success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And you will be happy to know, sir. So already 1,200 people have registered this platform, and around 200, 300 from different countries also, and they are logging in. And we have the facility also. We will, in fact, record all these proceedings and all the inaugural sessions also, and play. In fact, if there are archives, so people can visit also time and again, and they can listen also. Those who are based also, they can see it also.
Thank you.
We are really very thankful to Dr. Rajiv Ranjan for joining us, for taking out his precious time, and for enlightening us about the Fisheries Department and the contribution Government of India is taking. So thank you so very much for joining us, sir. Thank you for your precious time. Thank you. And for all those who are joined in with us right now, so I would like to congratulate everyone because this is actually quite an important session for everyone. And as Dr. Ranjan has already shared that this is quite a busy day, and as we are really thankful to our Honorable Minister of State Fisheries, Shri Pratap Chandra Sarangi, for agreeing to join us. But as he's traveling, so connectivity issues are always there while traveling, but he has made sure to send us his recorded message. So we do have a recorded message with us of our Honorable Minister of State and Fisheries and Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Government of India. So if we are ready to listen to his message, so please stay connected because you have a lot to learn through his message. So we are now going over to the recorded message by Shri Pratap Chandra Sarangi.
नमस्कार, डॉक्टर राजीव रंजन जी, IAS, Chief Secretary Government of Tamil Nadu and former Secretary Department of Fisheries in the Government of India, Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Dr. J. Balaji, IAS, Joint Secretary Department of Fisheries, Government of India. Mr. Prabhas Pradhan, Chief Editor, Smart Agri Post and Aqua Post, and all the organizers of this Smart Aqua Expo India 2021, and all the dignitaries and experts and others who are present in this digital platform. I offer you my heartfelt thanks for having invited me to share my ideas with you in this great occasion. This is a very fitting program, quite essential, and this expo will enable our fish farmers, our entrepreneurs connected in this fishery sector, to be charged with enthusiasm and optimism to revolutionize the field of fisheries and thereby leading the fishery sector to a grand success. Due to this global pandemic, World Trade Fair or exhibition is not possible, cannot be conducted. So online transaction, online expo is a must. I thank you once again for this beautiful arrangements. You are all great stalwarts who are trying to take our economy to a prestigious height. Everyday population explosion creates big challenges for human survival. Not only population explosion, but also this pandemic and many other health problems are creating problems. Poverty, unemployment, malnutrition, these are the problems we are facing today. A sizable population are suffering from malnutrition and many serious diseases, and due to poverty, they cannot get remedy. So technology upgradation is highly needed for more protection. But in the field of agriculture, probably we are reaching a saturation point, and the size of the earth is not going to increase. But there is a vast scope in the fisheries sector which can be explored. And India has a very peculiar and very congenial atmosphere for the growth of this sector, since on three sides we are surrounded by deep sea. And one side, the Himalaya stands as the border. Starting from Himalayas to Cape Comorin, we have different types of fishing infrastructure, fishing possibility, from cold water culture to mariculture, from brackish water culture to inland culture. So this is a very beautiful biodiversity that is given to us by God. Nature has given us this type of congenial surroundings. Now, from the beach up to 12 nautical miles, states are making laws and regulations. and from 12 nautical miles up to 200 nautical miles, Union government has the power to legislate, to regulate, to exercise control. But since there was no specific comprehensive law, sometimes foreign vessels came and explores the fishing treasury, loots it. But now government has been very strict enough to prohibit all foreign vessels for fishing operation in our sea. After 200 miles, there is international sea. But up to 200 mile, Government of India will regulate from 12 nautical mile to 200 nautical mile. This sector was probably not so visible prior to Narendra Modi's emergence as the Prime Minister of India. After Narendra Modi became Prime Minister, he launched a very ambitious program like Neeli Kranti, Blue Revolution. And for the fulfillment of Blue Revolution, our government have announced another ambitious program, a Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, in which 20,050 crores have been arranged from Government of India, state governments and beneficiary countries. And in all these programs, probably 40% subsidy is granted for individual beneficiaries belonging to general category. And for SC, ST and women, 60% subsidy is granted for almost all the projects. And this is probably the highest rate of subsidy in the whole world. A draft national fisheries policy is in the pipeline for approval of the government. The growth in this sector has been quite significant, much more than growth in other sectors. The PMSY 20,050 crores of rupees is being utilized for developing infrastructure, supply chain, and for the benefit of individual beneficiaries. Besides this, another fund, FIDF, Fisheries and Aquaculture Infrastructure Development Fund, at the size of 7,522 crores, has been arranged to boost the sector. Difficulty in this sector is not less. Although almost all the dimensions of the sector has been incentivized, be it mariculture, aquaculture, RAS, ornamental fish culture, seaweed culture, preparation of hatchery, and fish feed plants. In all these fields, a lucrative subsidy has been granted, that is 40 and 60%. But it has been proved that it is very difficult to ground all these things. Why? Because of the bureaucratic bottleneck, lack of knowledge about the system, methodology of getting loan, subsidy and starting the project among the common man. It has been very difficult. Now the challenge before us is to reach the ambitious target that we have taken, to double the farmers' income, to double our export, and to multiply our production. So Government of India has explored another field, that is deep sea fishing. Earlier we did not have deep sea vessels. Now deep sea vessels are prepared by hundreds and have been distributed to farmers with a subsidized rate. In some part of the country, and this is to be done in the entire country. How to double the farmers' income, how to raise our economy to the ambitious target that is fixed by our Honorable Prime Minister to raise our economy to $5 trillion economy. So for that, we have to reduce the cost of production of the farmers. And for that we have to reduce the post-harvest loss. You have to provide him easy and cheaper system of storage, because when the farmer goes for selling it in the market and if the rate comes down, he is compelled to sell it in a distressed price. So if there would be sufficient arrangement for storage, then he will not be forced to for distressed sale. For persons who have done insurance after their death, they are eligible to get 2 lakh rupees under Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana and Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. But for fishermen, I am happy to say that our Honorable Prime Minister have been kind enough to grant 5 lakh rupees as a insurance policy grant. Difficulties in the ground is how to give them e-market access, because now that big expo is not possible, you are conducting it virtually. So similarly, the market has been disturbed due to this corona, and we have to boost the supply chain. A robust supply chain is quite essential. To promote exports, we need a stronger mechanism and a conducive ecosystem. There should be exports. Some portals have been developed, but awareness about these portals and the methodology among the farmers and the entrepreneurs is quite essential. To allow the farmers and the industrialists to get easy cash flow, easy credit flow from the banks and other non-banking organizations is another big challenge. Some intermediary systems should be developed so that banks do not harass our entrepreneurs. And it is also essential to provide proper training to our fishers, fishermen, fish farmers, and our businessmen engaged in this fishery sector. For that, we need more training institutes. Short-term training courses should be developed, which is quite essential. Our scientists are engaged in research work. They are getting many new dimensions of knowledge. But if it is stored in the four walls of laboratory, it has no meaning. It should come out, and the findings, the results of their research should be the common property of each farmer. Then only our nation can prosper. To provide proper training, we need not only experts from the laboratory, but also we need experts from the vigor laboratory, that is nature. Those who are engaged in farming and getting experience every day. These common farmers, they may not be educated, but their experience is a bigger teacher than the scientists in the laboratory. So there should be a transfer of knowledge and technology among the farmers and the scientists. Each should enrich other. To provide handholding support, some intermediary organization or industrial houses should come. And we know that our potentiality is enough, our strength is enough, but unless it is manifested, unless it is drawn out and it is made useful, it has no meaning. More fish production, more fish feed plant, and more hatcheries, more markets are quite essential. Because if everybody goes on farming and have no market, then they will be forced for distress sale. And if a number of farmers is increased by leaps and bounds, and there is no hatchery nearby, they will run for 300, 400 kilometers. Then their cost of production will be increased. So for that, we need a comprehensive ecosystem for that. To increase survival rate, we need more scientific intervention. Now it is 30 to 40%. We can raise it to 70%, 80%. Because in many of our institutions, in CIFA and other institutions, the technology has been applied. But if in this field they will exhibit all these expertise, it will become useless. They should come to rural areas and apply this technology, train our fish farmers with this technology so that their survival rate will be increased by 70% or 80%, so that their cost of production will be reduced and they will earn more money. Those who are working day and night, these styling masses, are not getting a good and handsome income. So our sole aim should be to train our people, to enrich them with this technology so that their income will be raised and they will get nutritious food. Fish is the cheapest source of protein. We can address the problem of malnutrition, unemployment through this fishery sector. So a revolutionary step has been taken by Government of India, but people are not aware of these government schemes. So there should be proper training classes to train our people about the benefit of these government schemes. Unless they register, they cannot get the insurance benefit. Government has declared that 100 villages this year will be taken as an integrated fish farming villages. All round development of these villages, their income, employment and education will be taken care of. 7 crore rupees is sanctioned for each village. And laboratories will be incentivized, more technicians will be engaged. Entrepreneurs interested in this field will be given 40% subsidy for starting their laboratory. And these laboratories are 2 types. One is static, another is mobile. Mobile laboratories will go with a 35 lakhs fund size, in which government's contribution is 40% for general and 60% for SC, ST and women entrepreneurs. They will go from village to village and test the soil, health of the fish, health of the standard of the fish feed and others and medicines. So these laboratories will also contribute much for the growth of this sector. Research, innovation, development is the order of the day, and our fishery department is doing marvelous things in this field. And I think that with stalwarts like you, champions like you, this sector will flourish and standard of living of our people will be increased, and we will do miracles in the field of developing our economy to a $5 trillion economy and creating more employment, more income to our common mass. With this, I conclude. Namaste.
So thank you so very much. And during the online events, there are always something which we have to look forward to, which are little uncertainties, but we are so grateful to our Honorable Minister for joining us and explaining all the policies which can really help the fisheries community and can surely benefit in this pandemic time. But right now, we are going to go to Mr. Pravash Pradhan to take the event forward. Mr. Pravash Pradhan.
Thank you, Gitanjali. So, in fact, Dr. J. Balaji, who is also with the Minister, Honorable Minister of Fisheries, in a tour to Goa. So he will be joining shortly. And also Jaikrishna Jena, because of his busy schedule, he is in a meeting of Indian Council of Agriculture Research. We will start the technical sessions. All speakers have joined already. So I think I will start the technical sessions, and whenever Dr. Balaji or Dr. Jaikrishna Jena will join, so we'll allow them to share his views, share thoughts, and to start the session going on. So after, I think, 1-2 minutes break, we'll start the technical sessions. I think all our eminent speakers are there already, they have joined. So we'll continue the session and carry forward the event.